AI text humanizers are really bad at sounding like humans. So obviously people have been using ChatGPT and other tools like it to generate text using AI a ton more over the last few years as that entire field has accelerated. And so this has led to a larger discussion around the role of AI-generated text within kind of the larger media landscape, the authenticity that comes with human-written text versus AI-generated text, the value of the work that actual writers put into making written pieces, and for the purposes of this video, disclosure of whether or not something has been written using AI or whether or not it was written by an actual person. In other words, around the human element of the things that we interact with every day and whether we should know if there isn't one there to begin with. All right, so where do humanizers come in? Why do we even have these tools in the first place? Well, it's a plagiarism catch. It's in the same vein as the AI test monitoring things that I made a video about when COVID started, where you want to, flag whether or not students generally are using AI to generate essays instead of writing them themselves. There's been a lot of discourse around this that I think has been interesting to follow, because I certainly think that kids should be writing their own essays, because I can do it really simply, and yet this thing should be easy as a click of a button, and it's awful. I think there's a few reasons here. One, as I mentioned earlier, is that the point of these systems is not actually to make it sound human. It's to introduce factors into the text that the AI text detectors are just looking for, and use that as a way of getting around the detection in the first place. The interesting part of that to me is that my mom used to be an English middle school teacher, and she would flag essays that she thought were written not by the student. And a lot of that came down to it just not matching the student's voice. And I think that when you look at AI-generated text and AI-humanized text, you'd run effectively into the same problem. The task that these models are performing is ultimately not humanizing. It is trying to be adversarial, actually, in a sense, to the detectors. We've talked about GAN's generative adversarial networks in past videos, and these humanizers are trying to create a version of the text that will fool these detectors. And at the end of the day, that task is not inherently about sounding human. It's about figuring out how to restructure data in order to beat a test.